You are Locked On Yankees Postcast, part of Locked On Sports New York on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
All right, we're back, and despite the fact that they won't be playing there again after tomorrow, the Yankees certainly made themselves right at home out in Oakland. Bombers blast their way to a 10-0 victory out by the Bay. The magic number now to clinch the division down to just 3 after the blowout of the Athletics. Again, 10-0, the final score. Hello, everyone. I'm Jay Berman. If you're a New Yorker, you might recognize my work. If not, let's get to know each other. I've spent more than 2 decades in the biz, everything from TV to web to radio. You can follow me on X at Jay Berman. That's Jayberman. Welcome to the Locked On Yankees Postcast, both on the Locked On Sports New York YouTube channel and the Locked On Yankees podcast feed. The Postcast gives you a place to hang out after every single Yankees game. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. And again, we said 10-0 was the final score as the Yanks beat the Oakland A's. We'll chat everything Bombers offense, which of course includes Juan Soto and Aaron Judge. What else is new? A few others in the lineup have also begun to heat up. We'll discuss the performance of Carlos Rodon, who, quite frankly, has been great in September. We'll also set you up. Yanks and Athletics finish up their series in Oakland Sunday afternoon, the final game the Yanks will ever play in Oakland. And, of course, we'll get you set for the final homestand of the regular season, which, of course, features the Baltimore Orioles. All right, all that coming up on the Postcast. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5, get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. And we will start with a breezy 10-0 win for the Yanks over the A's tonight, and the power was there. We got a home run from Anthony Volpe. We got a big home run from Giancarlo Stanton, and we got a home run from Aaron Judge. The offense was certainly there as the Yanks banged out 14 hits, scored 10 runs. Let's go a little bit through the lineup here. Gleyber Torres had 3 more hits, drove in 2. Juan Soto had 2 hits. Judge the home run, and we'll get to him in a second. He had 2 hits. Stanton hit a monster home run, a 3-run shot. He had 2 hits. Also 2 hits for John Birdie. And as we said, Anthony Volpe had the home run as well. And again, 10-0 was the final score. Yanks magic number now to clinch the division. It was 4 coming into the game. It is now down to 3. 7 games remain after today. The Sunday afternoon game out in Oakland, that's a 4 Eastern time start, 1 o'clock local. Again, they'll take Monday off, will the Yanks travel back from California, 3 with the Orioles, and then 3 with the Pirates. So again, 1 with Oakland, 3 with Baltimore, 3 with Pittsburgh. That's 7 games remaining after today. Baltimore lost to Detroit in excruciating fashion. It was 4-2 Detroit at Camden Yards in the bottom of the 9th. The Orioles scored twice to force extras. Unfortunately, didn't go well for them at that point. The Tigers scored 2, and they're very much alive for that AL wild card. But again, Baltimore lost to Detroit in extra innings, as we said, in a brutal fashion. 6-4 was the final score. So again, the magic number now to clinch the division is down to 3. The Yankees, if they do, and we assume they will because they're now up 5, will clinch the division at home. They cannot clinch the division tomorrow in Oakland, and that's the final road game of the regular season. So good news, they'll get to pop the champagne in their home clubhouse, assuming they do get it done. And odds are it looks like it's going to happen against the Orioles either Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday because, as we said, the Orioles lost again. They can't get out of their own way. Yanks win, so the magic number is down to 3. And again, that means the division is a 5-game cushion for the Yankees over the Orioles. Orioles now squarely focused on WC1. That, of course, is wild card 1. Yanks now have 49 road wins. That leads the league. The Padres are the next closest with 45. So the Yanks are going to get home games, but they're also going to be road games, especially if we're deep into October. Take that into account. The Yanks, quite literally, the best road team in baseball. We talked about the final game, and we'll get to it. Just one quick note about the Oakland Coliseum. They talked about it on the broadcast tonight. Home of the A's from 1968 through 2024, obviously this season. It's going to be sad to see it go. Now, obviously, they do not draw fans well there, even with the Yankees in town. I believe it's between 20 and 25,000, which for them is great. But obviously, the Yankees play in front of bigger crowds. Regardless of that, the stands have been empty in Oakland, and it will no longer be in Oakland baseball after this year. Of course, they moved to Sacramento. The Yankees do have the schedule for next year. They face the Athletics in Sacramento in early May. So they'll get away to California early in the season. Again, early May, first week of May, I believe, the Athletics and the Yankees in Sacramento. That's a conversation for another day. Also worthy of note, the Yanks are now 91-64. Count it up with me. 66 seasons with at least 90 wins for the Yankees, by far the most of any team in history. Again, they're now 91-64. All right, we also have to touch on history in regards to the skipper. Aaron Boone wins his 600th game as a manager. Of course, he's only managed for the Yankees. We'll talk about some pretty remarkable seasons he's had as the skipper. Obviously, we want to throw out last year because they didn't do well and they didn't make the postseason. And then obviously the COVID-shortened year, which wasn't a full season at all. With the exception of those 2 years, and we'll run through the numbers, he's really been an excellent manager with excellent numbers and excellent results. Obviously, the results in regard to playoffs, specifically titles and trophies, has not been there yet, but he gives them a chance to do it every single year, and I believe Aaron Boone is the right man for the job. All right, as we said, had 599 managerial wins coming into today. We'll make it 600 now. We might as well get to that history. He becomes the 7th manager in franchise history to reach the milestone of at least 600 wins. He joins, here we go. Ready? All right. Joe McCarthy, Joe Torre, Casey Stengel, Miller Huggins, Ralph Houck, and Joe Girardi. Congrats to Aaron Boone, who, according to some fans, should have been run out of town multiple times throughout his tenure as Yankee skipper. At this point in time, we're thankful that that hasn't happened. He's been good. Again, 600 managerial wins for Aaron Boone, all as a Yankee. And we might as well take a look at it now. Back in 2018, in his first year, Aaron Boone won 100 games. In 2019, in his second year, he won 103 games. We'll skip over 2020, which is the COVID year. 92 wins in 21, 99 wins in 22. He now has 91 wins in 24. Of course, they were 82 and 80 last year, didn't make the playoffs. But other than that, and the COVID-shortened year, he's been right around 95 to 100 wins. And again, with 7 games remaining, the Yanks are 91-64. If they go 5-2, well, that'll get him to 96 wins. So again, kudos to Aaron Boone. Also, kudos to Carlos Rodon. We'll get into his night a little bit. He is now 16-9, which is a career high in wins for what it's worth in a season in his career. 6 scoreless innings tonight, struck out 4, walked 1, allowed 5 hits through just 90 pitches. He pitched so well, in fact, this guy right here, Moi, thought he probably should have come out for the 7th inning. Again, he had only thrown 90 pitches. Now, obviously, it didn't mean much. Mark Leiter Jr. pitched well, actually. And at that point, the game was out of hand. Yanks plated 4 in the top of the 7th. That's probably when Boone made the decision to not bring Rodon back. Mark Leiter Jr., 2 scoreless. Tim Meza, 1 scoreless. Meza threw just 8 pitches to get the final 3 outs. So the Yankees did not use really any of their high leverage guys out of the bullpen tonight. So that was, even despite just the 90 pitch performance from Rodon, he could have gone more. He's 16-9 now. As we said, he's had a sterling September. He improves to 2-0 with a 1.93 ERA in 4 September starts, and he's had an up and down season. We talked about the peaks and valleys of the Yankee regular season a couple of days ago. Well, let's talk about the same with Carlos Rodon. Brilliant, was an all-star in the first half, had that chunk where he was basically a batting practice pitcher, couldn't get out of his own way, and every Yankee fan from here to the moon wanted him gone. Now that the calendar has turned to September, little nip in the air, he's been much better. As we said, he has won 2 starts, sub-2 ERA in 4 September starts. By the way, also worthy of note, we know he's very injury prone. Not this year. This was his 31st start of the season. That ties a career high. And again, no IL stints this season for Rodon, which, of course, is brilliant. All right, we'll talk about Judge. We'll talk about Boone. We'll talk about Rodon. All of that coming up. First, we got to talk eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers. All right, we're back. 10-0, a huge win for the Yankees tonight. They beat the A's, take the first 2 of the series. And would anybody really be surprised if they swept away Oakland tomorrow? That doesn't mean tomorrow might not be emotional. Why? Well, it's the final game ever for the Yankees in Oakland. Oakland has one more series remaining at home before they shut the doors for good. As we said, moving on to Sacramento and then eventually to Las Vegas. Giancarlo Stanton hit a huge home run. His first home run since September 2nd, essentially 2.5 weeks. It went 441 feet. Didn't even look like he swung that hard. It's that much power for Stanton. Anyways, he was 5 for his last 42 with no home runs before the third inning blast, and it didn't necessarily put the game out of reach, but it allowed everyone to breathe at that point. That made it 6-0. As we said, the Yanks have 7 games remaining after today, and they have a magic number of 3 to clinch the division. They'll be able to do so most likely against Baltimore at home, so that should be pretty sweet. All right, we need to talk Aaron Judge, whose 54th home run. He regains a 2-homer lead over Shohei for the major league lead. Ohtani has 52. Also for Judge, his 90th extra base hit. We told you about number 89 a couple of nights ago. Number 90 came tonight. That ties his most in a season. 2 years ago, 2022, he had 90 extra base hits. He's got 90 with a week to go. There have only been 4 seasons in Yankees history in which a player hit more home runs. Here we go. Obviously, Judge 62, 2 years ago. Roger Maris 61 in 61. Babe Ruth 60 in 1927. And also Babe Ruth hit 59 in 1921. Again, only 4 seasons with more than 54, and Judge has one of them. He's going to have 2 of them pretty shortly. All right, Jason Dominguez, his first hit of the season as a right-handed batter. It was an RBI single in the first inning. It's going to get lost in the fray only because More important players did more important things, quite frankly, in this game. But it's not going without mention here on the Locked On Yankees postcast. That's because if Dominguez can hit righties and catch a ball in left field, well, we might just see him frequently in the postseason instead of just a platoon situation with Alex Verdugo. What you did see tonight as well in regard to Giancarlo Stanton is that's what we need to see from Stanton, that sort of situation. Because to be quite honest, we discussed this really multiple times over the last week and a half. What would the playoff lineup look like? And will it include Giancarlo Stanton at DH? Because obviously he can't play the field. And with Dominguez up and ready to play, who's going to play left field? Will it be Dominguez or will it be Alex Verdugo? We've discussed this all. Well, Stanton hit a 441-foot home run tonight. Does that mean he's back in the good graces of skipper Aaron Boone in regard to a DH spot in the starting lineup when the postseason comes around? Who knows? Who knows? All I know is Boone probably feels better about it. Giancarlo probably feels better about it. And to be quite honest, the bench probably feels better about it. Up and down, 1 through 9, if he's hitting and protecting essentially Austin Wells, Giancarlo would bat 5th. Well, then that top 5 is lethal. That's probably why you're going to see a platoon of Dominguez and Verdugo in left, Judge in center, Giancarlo DHing. Now, we said that was worthy of mention in regards to the Martian single because it was his first hit this season off a left-handed pitcher as a right-handed batter. Obviously, he's a much better hitter from the left-hand side of the plate. But again, he got the hit tonight. Anthony Volpe at a home run. We talked about that huge drought that Judge had, nearly 80 plate appearances without a home run. Well, Giancarlo went through a huge slump. Believe it or not, had to look this one up and couldn't believe it. Volpe's first home run since, get this, August 3rd versus the Blue Jays, just his 12th of the year. And obviously, we are not relying on Anthony Volpe for any sort of lightning tower power, if you will. But it's been a month and a half, and he does have pop. And we expect big things from Anthony Volpe with the glove, with the bat, on the base paths. Really. So it was surprised to hear that he hadn't hit a home run really coming up on 2 months. As we said for Stanton, the home run, his first in September 2nd. And hopefully we can get all these droughts out of the way before we hit the postseason. All right, speaking of the postseason, I dialed up some stats in regards to Carlos Rodon, his postseason history, and I wanted to bring it up because we need to talk about the starting rotation, at least over the next couple of days, and how the Yankees line it up. Rodon's going to get one more start. He's had 2 postseason appearances, and he's going to pitch in the postseason, folks. Back in 2020, in the COVID-shortened year, he pitched in a wild card game for the White Sox. Didn't go well. Did not record an out. 2 earned. Walked 2. The old infinite ERA. And whip. He did start. He was not a starter in that game. He came in relief. In the division series the next year for the White Sox, he did start. Didn't go well there either. Just 2 2/3 against the Astros. 3 hits, 2 earned, 2 walks. Hit a batter. So anyways, point is that his postseason, albeit a small sample size, has not been great. It just hasn't been great. So who knows what you're going to get. I will say this. The fact that he's locked in September, that gives you all the feels. Keeps you nice and warm and cozy inside. That's what you want. You want guys hot into the postseason. Obviously, Jay, obviously doesn't need to be said, right? No. Well, sometimes it does need to be said. It's never the best team. It's the hottest team. You get hot at the right time, a batter, 2 batters, a pitcher, a reliever, and your team can do damage in the postseason. All right, as we said, it's a 10-0 win for the Yankees. They blast the A's. They go for 3 straight over Oakland tomorrow. All right, you've heard us talk a lot about FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Well, we've got something just a little bit different for you now through September 22nd. All FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then, with the YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment. You can cancel anytime. And if that's not enough, be sure to check out FanDuel's Profit Boost in the app. Use it for FanDuel's Double Your Winnings for all of Sunday 9:15. Pre-game moneyline bets, Profit Boost will be live starting Thursday 9:12. View your account page now to learn more about your boost. Also, just visit FanDuel.com. Download America's #1 sportsbook. That, of course, is FanDuel. All right, 10-0. Yanks use some power. They use some pitching tonight. 3 home runs. Anthony Volpe goes yard. Giancarlo Stanton goes yard. And then the coup de grace, Aaron Judge goes yard as well. For Stanton, the home run was his 26th. We said for Judge, his 54th. Now has a 2-home run lead over Shohei Ohtani for the majors' home run lead. So, extrapolate it out. We give him between 2 and 3 more homers. The Judge on pace to hit between 56 and 57 home runs. Obviously, he can get hot. Obviously, we've seen him get cold. We'll keep our fingers crossed. Again, Aaron Boone wins his 600th game as a manager. He joins McCarthy, Torrey, Stengel, Huggins, Houck, and Girardi. Those are the only Yankee managers to win 600 games in pinstripes. All right, as we said, Aaron Judge now has 90 extra base hits on the season. He did that back in 2022. There have only been 4 seasons in Yankee history in which a player hit more home runs than Judge's 54 this season. Judge, obviously, 62 2 years ago. Maris, and then Babe Ruth did it twice. Really some heady company for Aaron Judge, who is just screaming like a comet towards Cooperstown. 10-0 was the final score. Carlos Rodon, 6 innings, 5 hits, no earned, 1 walk, 4K through just 90 pitches, 62 strikes. And by the way, doesn't seem like a lot, but he finally got his season ERA back under 4, did Rodon. He is now at 3.98. All right, we need to discuss moving forward the series finale on Sunday for the Yankees and the A's. Comes your way, of course, at 4 o'clock. It'll be Luis Gil and Estes for Oakland. As we said, the magic number to clinch the division down to 3. Yanks are off on Monday, traveling back to New York. They begin the 3-game set on Tuesday with Baltimore, where they'll will be able to clinch, assuming things go swimmingly on Sunday. Kramer and Cortez on Tuesday night. Wednesday night in New York will be Eflin and Clark Schmidt. Thursday night, the series finale, will be quite a pitching matchup, assuming it stays this way, and who knows if it will. Burns and Cole. Remember, at this point in time, if Baltimore clinches the wild card 1 and the Yankees clinch the AL East, neither of those teams have anything to play for, specifically Baltimore. If they clinch the 1 seed of the wild cards, that means they can't improve their positioning. They cannot win the division, so their season effectively becomes a situation where all they want to do is get ready for the postseason. Yanks might still have to struggle for the best record with Cleveland, so they might have something to play for. Regardless, Burns and Cole is what we're looking at Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we've got the Pittsburgh Pirates in New York to wrap up the regular season. As we said, Carlos Rodon most likely going to get 1 more start, and then we'll line things up for the postseason. We'll have plenty of time to do that. All right, thank you for making Locked On Yankees your first listen today. Now go check out the Locked On MLB podcast. Prepare for the Fall Classic with Sully. He's got it all covered every single day. You can find the link to Locked On MLB in the description, so you don't need to search. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And before we get out of here, I always want to mention our partners in crime over at Locked On Yankees, Stacey Gatsoulias and Brian McKeon. the best. They handle the stuff again all over at Locked On Yankees. The best. Follow, subscribe, and enjoy. As we said, 7 games to go for the Yankees. They beat the A's tonight 10-0. Series finale. And for the final time, the Yanks will play a baseball game in Oakland on Sunday. They've been doing so since 1968. So a chapter will close after Sunday's game. But again, Yanks lead the division by 5. Magic number to clinch the division is 3. 7 games remaining. It's going to be quite exciting. That's it for this Locked On Yankees postcast. I'm Jay Berman. Remember to follow me on X at JAYBERMAN. Enjoy your evening.